Hey everyone, so we are on our way to the river at the moment. The river has come up 2 feet, and I'm really hoping that is just because of all the rain we've been getting and that runoff isn't actually started yet, but I am en route to Le Rivar, so I'll be back. It's about noon on a Thursday. I don't know why that matters.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this complicates things a little bit. I knew the river had come up. I did not know it had come up this much. We may have to change our plans a bit. That's the bar I wanted to walk on. And it is probably, I don't know, that's probably like 2 or 3 feet deep. Lovely.
Well, that was not a part of the plan, but we have a backup plan, and then we have a plan C as well. There's always other options. I'm gonna check one more spot that might be huntable. If it is not, then we're shifting gears entirely. So come along with me on this wild goose chase.
Well, here's plan B, also covered in water. This actually isn't as bad though. I think we can wade to the bank fairly easily. I didn't want to wade today. You know what's really annoying about this too is I have really, really nice water shoes specifically for this kind of stuff. Yeah, you want to know where they are? Flying across the world in a box sent by Jesse. Ow. It's not deep like at all, but oh my gosh, that's cold. Why? You know, I do that all the time and it never doesn't hurt. All right, our hunting is gonna be very limited today because a lot of that bank is underwater. All right, this looks like a promising concretion. Let's see what's in it. Unfortunately, a little weathered, but that one has some really nice color that should repair nicely. Got all the pieces of it. And then this one was super freaking weathered, but that one side looks so good. Now here's the downside. The calcite was already exposed, so it's very weathered. That is a fantastic tumbler jasper right there. Ooh, yeah, that's real nice. That is tailor-made for a tumbling. Well, there's our first decent rock of the day. That is, oh, that's gonna be cool. Petrified wood, but it's got a big old band of chalcedony running through it. Oh, cool. I don't show this stuff super often just because it's freaking everywhere on the Yellowstone. But look at that aventurine. That is so green. I'm sure the sun goes away the moment I pick this up. Yeah, I might actually keep that one. That is so green. Oh man, the way my heart just skipped a beat. Thought that was a water line. It's not. It's clearly not, but man, from a distance, I sure thought it was. Look at that little beauty. Ooh, that's a gorgeous TSA. Wow. Yeah, that's nice. That's gonna get kept. I like that a lot. As bummed as I am that my plans for the day got completely rearranged, I am still very happy that Runoff is around the corner. The river is ready for a refresh, I think. Like this bank I'm walking on right now has probably been walked on like hundreds, if not thousands of times already this year, so. This actually isn't far from where I found that big iris in, I don't know if it's the last video, but a previous video. That's why I freaked out so hard, because yeah, me and probably 100 other people have walked over that thing probably thousands of times all year long. The fact that it was there is just crazy. I'd say that is our first really cutting worthy rock of the day right there. That is so pretty. That's a jasper with like just glass clear chalcedony bands through there. Now that is one very silicified piece of wood. Look at you. Man, we may not be finding big ones today, but I am still thrilled with what we're finding. Even a bad day on the river is better than a good day at work. Well, actually no. I was gonna say bad day on the river is still better than a good day at work, but I'm actually working on something at work right now that is freaking crazy that I'm very excited to show you guys. That will be its own video. There's a decent little agate hiding right there. Oh, that's a weird one. It's kind of more of a chalcedony actually. The heck? This thing is crazy. Look at that fortification pocket. That is awesome. All right, if this is a jasper, I'm about to be very excited because that is really weird looking. What in the world? That is crazy looking. Is that wood? I think that's wood. Oh my gosh. It never gets old. There's so many different varieties of petrified and silicified wood on the Yellowstone. It is actually mind-blowing. Those little black streaks. Yeah, that looks like grain. That's crazy. Sometimes you spot a rock that just makes you freeze from a distance. And it's right here. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Look at that jasper. I'm gonna swap to my phone, one sec. That thing is phenomenal. Look at that. It's so green. It is so freaking green. I hope that's showing well. I can't actually tell, it's too bright. That is so pretty. Wow. There's so many different colors, it's freaking my camera out. This is never not heartbreaking. So I saw this nice concretion, so I figured I'd split it a bit. Got two really good baculites in there. Yeah, here's the sad part. Look at that freaking ammonite. That was a huge scaphite. I say was because it's like barely on there. Dang it. That would have been so cool. But that will lighten my spirits a wee bit. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, that will. That is a gorgeous piece of wood. Heck yes. That one we might cut. All right, cool. Well, where there's one ammonite, there's usually multiple, so I might want to split a few more of those if I find any. Well, not an ammonite. Well, technically, yes. Yes, ammonite. Not the kind of ammonite we're looking for, though, but that's going to be an awesome little specimen. It looks like it's super calcified. You can see that pocket up here. That's going to be good. And it'll sit up so nicely. Heck yes, I can be happy with that. Well, right here we have a fossil of a different variety. That is a big ball of chert, but if you look right there, it looks like the cross section of a horn coral, I'd guess. That's awesome, which means there's probably more in there. That's super cool. Well, there it is. Unfortunately, this one is super weathered, but it looks like there's another one next to it, but check that out. We got an ammonite. He's going to be a little weathered on that one face, but it looks like the rest of it is there, so that should clean up nicely. I'm going to stop banging on it now, so wait till we can get it to the scribe to do anything more. Another good agate right there. So there are still some in here. Quartz top, bands on the side. That's a good candidate. Man, between the jaspers and the fossils, it's really hard to be upset about the lack of agates. These things are so nice. All right, we either have something awesome or nothing, which I guess is the case for literally everything. Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah, that's amazing. That is one super brecciated red jasper. That is gorgeous. Well, again, it's really hard to be upset about the lack of agates with the quality of the other stuff we're finding. This is great. All right, I think that is about to be a beauty. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, that's fantastic. Just wow. Right as the sun comes up. That's perfect. Oh my goodness. Is that a water line? I don't know what I'm looking at. Looks like this is the bottom face of a water line, but I'm not sure. Oh, that's awesome. I can be very, very happy about that. That is absolutely gorgeous. There we go. Oh, that looks like a good one. Look at you glowing. Isn't that just the best? I love it. It makes me so happy. Ooh, whoa, that's a cool one. Big old bots. That is awesome. Looks like it was a tube, maybe? I don't know what to make of that. That's actually really, really cool. Alrighty, guys. I think that's going to do it for this one. Just kidding. As I'm getting ready to leave, just found this absolutely fantastic brecciated jasper. That is going to be so nice. I am tired. Very, very tired. And I still have to wade, so should probably just stop now. Man, we found some fantastic stuff. If this does end up being the last time I get to hunt before runoff, I can be happy with that. We found some really, really good stuff. A ton of variety too. Like, we didn't get any giants, but let's see, we got baculites, ammonites, bright green jasper, red jasper, plumes, super vivid Montana agates, petrified wood, agatized wood. Yeah, good day. Very good day. I can be very, very happy with that. It was worth waiting for. Anyway, I'm gonna head back to the shop. I will see you when we get there, and I will see you when we get there.
All right, we're back to the shop. This is a weird day because we're not actually going to cut any rocks. A lot of them are just small, and I don't really feel like doing that right now. Also, the saw is in desperate need of getting clean. But we are going to prep some of those fossils. There's that one baculite that I need to repair and prep. That's going to be amazing. And then, of course, the ammonite, which I have high hopes for. So let's go do that. I'll be honest with you, this is not the specimen I was expecting. This baculite is broken. You can see that it's missing chunks right in here. And this ammonite is crushed and a partial. The world does not continue. So this is actually a really bad specimen. This is not what I was expecting at all. Well, the other two we prepped may have turned out to be duds, but I think I can be very happy with this one. It has some beautiful sutures. There are a few points there while I was carving where I couldn't tell if I was through the shell or not because the thing is just that calcified, but it's just beautiful. Look at that. So calcified. I love when you get just random dark limestone sutures just kind of in the middle. I love it. I love it so much. Never gets old. Absolutely love prepping these things. Took a pretty good polish and I flattened the base just a little bit so it stands up nicely on its own now. I was considering doing an extraction and then I figured, nah, I don't know. I like having specimens like this sometimes where they're just kind of perched inside the matrix. That is just wonderful. Yeah, that thing is crazy calcified. I can be very happy with that. Here are some of my other favorite finds. Excuse the ever-growing mess that is my bench. Start with the petrified wood. I probably could have cut these, but I just figured, meh, wasn't feeling it today. That and my saw desperately needs to get cleaned, so I really need to do that before. There's some stuff that I cut that is just so unbelievably filthy. These dark pieces of wood are one of them, but the main one would be the tiger eye that I was cutting recently. Actually, that hasn't come out yet, so scratch that. You didn't hear that. Anyway, though, so a really nice piece of petrified wood, and it just has a band of like carnelian running through it. So I will cut that at some point. Same with this one. It's a really nice chunk, and it is very, very silicified. So this won't turn dark like some of those other ones do. This is going to be very nice, well-defined grain. So yeah, I'll definitely have to cut this one soon. Not today, but I'll do it soon. I'm very happy to say that we did get two really nice agates. One, I have the correct tools to do it. I really want to just cut the face on this and do a face polish because that is just stunning. Look how dark that agate is. Again, I think what we're looking at is a waterline pocket inside of the banding, but the weird thing is I think we're looking at the bottom of the waterline pocket, which makes me wonder if I should try cutting it a different way, but I don't know. It could just be solid white on the inside, but that's just really, really cool. It's almost like a limb cast. I don't think it is, but it sure looks like it. Then we got this one right at the end of the day. Great way to end the day. All those big rolling bots, but on that inside, it's just nice. Look at that. This is gonna have phenomenal moss and banding. I just don't know how to cut one like this. I mean, I guess I could just come in and do the face, but I don't know. I almost like it better the way it is. Some I look at and I'm just, you know, maybe I don't want to cut you. But this is cool. You can actually see these little breaks right here. Those were the ends of tubes. One of them is still there, but that is really cool. Almost forgot to show this. This thing is gorgeous. This is something you've heard me refer to many, many times, and it's always just the best day ever when you find them, but this happens to be a trifecta rock. The Yellowstone trifecta being petrified wood, jasper, and Montana agate.
Well, this is all three in one. You've got your jasper, your chalcedony, and it's a piece of wood. So it's just exciting. When I get a trim saw, I will definitely cut some pieces off of that because that is just beautiful. But I think the real stars of the day were actually the jaspers. We didn't get massive jaspers, but the ones we got are just beautiful. I mean, look at this. I think I'm tumbling this one. I think I might have to. That is so pretty. It's just different. I love when you're kind of limited on space available to hunt. You just start moving slow and you start looking at the smaller stuff. And yeah, this is not one I would normally have noticed because I'm usually trying to cover ground. But when you're really slowing down and looking at small stuff, I mean, just look at that thing. It's just beautiful. So I will probably be tumbling at this at some point. Tumbling at this is what I just said. Greens are some of my favorites. They're really one of my favorites because you can't really focus for them. If you go out, you pretty much are guaranteed on the Yellowstone to find at least one red jasper. But greens are not common, and this one is just gorgeous. Look at that. They're not like crazy rare, but they're also like you may get one every hunt or two, but that is just so pretty. Look at that thing. This is honestly one I'm thinking about tumbling as well. And we got this thing, which I have no explanation for. It's kind of like halfway to being a plume, and it's stunning. So we've got all this white chalcedony, but it's just gorgeous. There's so much plumy, branchy goodness just suspended in that chalcedony. That's one I probably will cut when I have the trim saw, because that's gorgeous. I think if we come in, cut it this way, that face has me excited. There could be some really good stuff in there. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for this one. This was probably a shorter video than I was planning on, but man, I'm just happy we actually got to find any gravel left exposed that was still accessible without swimming. After I saw the state of the first place we went to, I was not sure we actually were even going to be able to hunt today, so I'm very happy that we managed to find somewhere. Let me know which one was your favorite. That green probably is up there, and that last plumy red is probably way up there. I'm still bummed about that ammonite. I had high hopes for that thing, and it kind of just fizzled out. But I say it all the time, that's just normal. That is totally just normal for ammonites. They are notorious for, well, any chambered fossil really. They're notorious for you're prepping them and then they just disappear because they broke along a chamber and then deteriorated. So especially scaphites, hoploscaphites, which is what that species is, they're just notorious for doing that. Well, I was kind of planning on this being my last hunt before Runoff arrives, but I made plans and we went out again. So we have one more Yellowstone River hunt to go, and I'm very excited to share that because it was a freaking phenomenal day. Without giving anything away, I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna yeah, it was a really good day. We also still have 3 more videos to come from the honeymoon. I don't know when this video is coming out, so I don't know if that count has changed or not. I am bummed that Runoff is around the corner, but that just means we get to move into the hills and start doing our crystal hunting and fossil hunting and all sorts of different stuff, which I'm very excited about. Runoff is sad and exciting at the same time because it's the perfect excuse to go do other stuff. Yeah guys, that's gonna do it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.